Welcome my glam dolls back to my channel. So I am filming how I met Juan. I did do a poll on my Instagram and you guys did vote to see this. I know a lot of people aren't pro my relationship. A lot of people have their opinions and you guys are welcome to have your opinions, but I'm gonna do what's in my best interest and the best interest of my kids. If I'm happy and you love me, then you should be happy for me. That's just how I see it. So your negative comments or anybody that decides to write anything negative, you know, you could practically shove that shit up your ass because I don't care. Anyways, so let's just jump right into it. I had attended this party by Unknown, which is a trucking club here in Arizona. I was not going to go to this party. My plans were just to go eat with my homegirl and drink a little bit there and just go home because I had to work the next day at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that was my plan. Well, that plan blew up, and once I started drinking, I just wanted to go out and just dance. I love dancing. Like, I feel so relaxed. Like, everything just disappears. I am in my little happy place. So my homegirl was like, we could go for a little bit, like I'm not in the mood to party and whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went to that party and it was like huge, like it was at a rancho, you know. They had their grupo. I think they had only one grupo, and it was Los Chicas de Sinaloa. And you know, it was Halloween and all these girls were dressed all cute and whatever, and I was in a dress because I was just going to eat. So I was in my dress and my high knee boots. We got to the party, I'm dancing, whatever. And I met up with my other homegirls, and they, like, I have always been the mom of the group. I take care of them when they get drunk. I make sure they don't leave with random men. Like, I mean, if they want to go fuck around, that's on them. But you know when somebody's just trying to sleep with somebody or they're trying to do more than that. So I went with them and I was hanging around with them, and then like one of my homegirls, she has a cousin, and that cousin went like with this group of guys that I didn't even pay attention to. I just saw her run off, and this guy was giving her a shot of bucanas, and I recorded it and whatever. And I don't know what shot they gave her that it got in her eye. So I ran and I like went to go rinse her eyes. And then my other homegirl like kept asking them for cigarettes, and they're doing them. And I was just like, oh, like, guys, just don't do nothing stupid. Like, I don't want you guys to get roofied or something. Like, be careful what you guys take. And they're like, yeah, they're all fucked up. And my other homegirl that I went with, like, when we went to go eat and then she went with me, she was like, I'm gonna go because I have to work tomorrow. And I was like, sure, I'll text you when I'm home. I was like, I'll pick up my dress whenever. And then I met some of my homeboys there too. I sent them the Addy and they showed up. And then one of them was like super fucked up, and we're just gonna say his nickname. I don't know if you guys know him. So his nickname, it was Stacks, and he was so fucked up. Like, he had mixed everything. Like, he could not drive, and I didn't drink that much because I was not really in the mood to drink. I was more in the mood to dance. And being the mom of the group, you don't always get to do what you want to do because you gotta make sure all your homegirls are good, your homies are good. Like, you don't want anybody to be taken advantage of or like something be stolen. So the party was over, and I told my homie, I was like, I'll drive your truck because you're too fucked up. And he was like, yeah, go get it, like pull it in, because they had us park on the outside, enough space on the inside, so his truck was on the outside. So I met this random girl that was with my homie, and she was like, I'll walk with you so you don't have to walk by yourself. And I was like, okay. So we started walking towards the truck, and this is Juan's version. He said he saw me when my homegirl was taking shots like of the bucanas, and he wanted to talk to me but he didn't. And then when I was leaving to get the truck, he was trying to catch up and he couldn't because the cops showed up. And I ran to the truck and I pulled it in. He left and we just parted ways. Like, I didn't see him at the party. I didn't approach him. He didn't try to get at me at the party, or he did and he just didn't catch up to me like he says. But so I I don't know if I posted the picture and I tagged my homegirl or how exactly he found me. He says I was tagged in a picture, so I can't remember if I posted it and he found my profile, or posted a picture and she tagged me. I don't know who posted a picture or how exactly it went by. He doesn't remember either. But, you know, he found me on Facebook and he messaged me right away and he was like, hey, were you at this party? And I was like, yeah, I was. And he was like, oh, I saw you, I wanted to talk to you, but I didn't. And I was like, I didn't see you. Like, I sounded fucked up, but I was like, I didn't see you. And he was like, oh, it's okay, like, whatever. Like, so he would message me and I would like hold a conversation with him for a little bit, and then I'd be like, you know, he's not that cute, so I'm gonna just keep doing me. That was in my head. And he kept trying and he kept insisting and blah blah blah. And I was like, whatever. Like I said, I would hold conversations with him, but it was nothing like I'm talking to this dude. Like, no bitch better be talking to him. It wasn't that yet. And then I had posted, oh, I'm going to Glendale Glitters with my homegirl, like, we're just trying to chill, whatever. And he commented, he was like, oh, I was just there yesterday. And I was like, oh, you should come today. But I was kidding, bro, kidding. Like, I did not think he was gonna show up. And he was like, oh, what time you going? And I was like around 8. And he was like, okay, I'll message you. So he messaged me. He was like, so are you there yet? And I was like, yeah. I was like, pull up, whatever. I was just kidding. I didn't think he was really gonna show up. And this was on December 8th of 2016. And then, so he messaged me and he was like, I'm here, where you at? And I was like, this motherfucker actually showed up. Like, I was so nervous. I told my homegirl, I was like, I'm not going up to him. And mind you, Glendale Glitters is like just lights on trees and shit like that. And there's a big Christmas tree and like a ball, like an ornament. And we were just walking around the park, and well, not the park, like the spot, and I saw him and I was like, oh hell no, I'm not going up to him. She's like, just go up to him, like, stop being a pussy. And I was like, bitch, I'm not going up to him. Like, maybe he'll see me and he'll come up to me. And nope, I passed again, he didn't see me. And I was like, oh, I see you. I messaged him that. And he was like, well, come up to me because I don't know where you are. And so I was like, I told my homegirl, I was like, bitch, I'm scared. Like, I never get nervous around people that I don't know. I'm normally like a really, really talkative person, but I knew the fact that he was trying to get with me. Like, I knew but I was beautiful because he commented on my pictures all the time. He always messaged me, hey beautiful, whatever. And so I went up to him and I was like, hey Juan. And he was like, oh hey. He was like, how do I pronounce your name? And I was like, Rihanna. And then so we sat down. Like, there was this, like, it's like an amphitheater, like made of cement, chairs or whatever. And we sat right there and we started talking and whatever. And like, I don't know why, but I grabbed his face. Like, I just grabbed him from right here and he got all like, and he was like, what he says is when I did that, he knew he had me. And I was like, when he told me that, I was like, bro, like, so I still get like mariposas in my stomach type shit because, you know, that's the love of my life. So we were talking and whatever, and we were having a conversation, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go because it's getting late and I have to work tomorrow. And he was like, all right, cool. And then so I left, he left, we hugged, we didn't kiss or nothing. So we left it at that, and he messaged me and he was like, oh, I had a good time with you, thanks for inviting me, blah blah blah. And my thoughts were, dude, you are so much cuter in person than you are online. Like, your pictures make you look ugly. So that's why, like, no te peleé. Like, I was not trying to get with you because I thought you were ugly. But then I saw you in person, and I didn't tell him that, but in my head I was like, you're cute as fuck. Like, you can have my babies. Even though I ended up pregnant anyways. So yeah, like, the next day he asked me what I was doing, and I was like, I work until 8. He was like, oh, what are you doing after? And I was like, nothing. He was like, you want to go on a date? And I was like, yeah. So the next day we went on a date to Wingstop, and from there things just grew, like really, really, really grew fast. And I cannot thank God enough for letting it happen how it did, because I feel like our story is so unique. So yeah, that is how we met. I did want you guys to ask me questions on Instagram about our relationship. So the first question was, did he come around on his own, or did you never give up? Honestly, when we broke up and everything happened, like at first I was like, dude, like I didn't make this baby by myself, you know, you helped me make her too, like I'm not doing this by myself, like fuck that shit. I kind of just got over it. Like I gave him 3 chances, and after those 3 chances I was done, tired, and you know. So the first time he's ever met Nevaeh, she was already 3 months. He only saw her for like 5 minutes and he left. The second time he had the chance to see her again, his windshield got broken. Excuse. And the third time, I forgot what happened, but it just didn't happen. He didn't see her. So after those 3 strikes, I called it quits. I was like, that's it. Like, you don't want to be in your daughter's life? That's fine. Like, I could be a single mom. Like, I was doing me. So I just let Juan do whatever he wanted to do, because I knew whatever God was trying to do for me at that time was what was meant to happen. You know, I wasn't supposed to be with him. I was meant to do it on my own. And Juan did end up reaching out to me later in, it was already January. He reached out to me in January, and he is the one that came around on his own. I didn't pressure him. I always told his sisters, like, Juan is always welcome to be in Nevaeh's life. Like, I told his family the same thing. I would never take my daughter away from their dad if their dad actually tried. Like my mom always says, you could lead the horse to the water, but you can't force them to drink it. I didn't force shit. And when it was time, he came around. And that's just how I see it. So for any of those moms or baby mamas or whatever think the dad has to be in their life, let them do whatever the fuck they want. If they don't want to be there, don't force it, because the one at the end of the day that is going to take care of them is going to be God, and they have to deal with that. They have to, you know, eventually everything they do is going to catch up to them, and them not being there for their kid is eventually going to catch up. Like, God will always give you what is in your best interest, and for some reason, if they're not in their life, let them be. You could do it on your own, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, you could do it on your own. You don't need a significant other. And I'm saying that as I did it on my own for 5 months, and a little bit over 5 months. For my girls or guys that are single parent, do not force them. I don't think court is the way to go, like child support or forcing them with visitation. You know, it might help you financially because you can't do it by yourself, but I did it by myself. Like for 5 months, you know, I was working 10+ hours. I was making good money. Like I didn't even care. So for those women or those men that are doing it by themselves, keep doing it by yourself. Like, you get double the hugs, you get double the love, you get, you know, double the kisses. That's just how I see it. So when they want to come around, let them, but don't force it. The next question is, how'd you feel when he went to California for you? He didn't go to California for me. He went for Nevaeh. He assumed he was gonna go to jail, and he wanted to fix things with his daughter. I was nervous. I told I call her my primis. I told her I was scared to tell my mom. I was so nervous to tell my mom and my grandparents. But I told my best friend. You know, everybody was like pretty much supportive. Not my mom nor my grandparents, which at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what's best for me and best for my kids. So, you know, I was nervous. I was super nervous to see him. I hadn't seen him since August. 4 months I didn't see him in person. I didn't talk to him. You know, when I did, things were just, I still haven't forgave him for what he did to me. So I was nervous. I was beyond nervous. I was scared. I was happy at the same time, but I was still in a dark place with him. So I wasn't just, and that's what a lot of people don't know. And just because he went to California didn't mean right away I was going to get back with him. It was to talk about things because he assumed he was going to jail. And if he wanted to be there for Nevaeh, he wanted to be there for Nevaeh. Next question was it hard to forgive him when he cheated? You can't forget something like that. That's something that weighs heavy on your heart when it's done to you. I have forgave Juan with everything in me. At first I hated him. I went through all the phases. I went through hate, anger. Like, I wanted to murder him. I wanted to murder her. I went through all that shit. But I had to forgive in order for us to have what we have today. You know, it was like, the way I think of it, it was meant to happen the way it happened. It's hard. It's really hard to go through something like that, especially with the first guy you feel like you actually loved, especially with the father of your daughter, because that time I only had Nevaeh. So it was hard for me to forgive him. Definitely hard for me to forgive him. But I feel like it was meant to happen. It was in our path to be where we are today. He knows. He already knows. You do it again, there's no coming back from that. Because the first time, I'll say it's a mistake. It happens the second time. Like, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me for thinking you're not. So he knows. Like, it happens again, I'm leaving. Like, don't even look for me no more. Look for your kids, but don't look for me. You know? And he, so far, we have no social media, and he's changed a lot. So I'm thankful that it happened the way it happened, to be honest. What's it like having a stalker ex? It's like, this bitch is obsessed. It's annoying. It really is annoying. And sometimes I wish, like, she would go the fuck away. Like, but then I think about it and I'm like, she's just big mad because she doesn't have him the way I do. And that's it. She could continue to stalk us. She could continue to text us from random numbers. She could continue to send her homegirls to text us from random numbers. Juan's not gonna leave me. What's your relationship like? Our relationship is now really good. We do still argue. I mean, what couple doesn't? In a better place. Like, we're happy. I'm happy. He always says he's happy. Like, we have 2 beautiful kids. Like, we're weird with each other. Like, I could be myself, he could be himself. Like, he knows he always has a best friend with me, and I have a best friend with him. The next one is, how'd you feel when he proposed? Shocked, happy. I never expected him to propose to me. Like, I always assumed we were never really gonna get married. Like, he was never gonna get on his knee. He was never. And so he did it. And I was super happy. How long did it take him to change? Like, completely change? A year and 9 months. I know people might be like, you're stupid for waiting that long, but Juan has changed drastically. I am so thankful he has. Like, I used to pray and I thought, man, it's never gonna happen. It took till after Luciano was born, like a day after Luciano was born, no, 2 days, for him to completely change. When are you guys coming to Cali? I'm supposed to go down there in June. Well, next month on the 6th for my brother's graduation, but things don't always go as planned. But I do, well, we have talked about it, and we want to go in September because that's between both my baby's birthdays, so that my friends and like my family can come to my grandma's and we can do something for the babies. But primeramente Dios, everything happens right. This will be the actual last one. How'd you do it? I don't know in reference to what, but I pray for everything. I pray for God to give me strength. I pray for him to make me feel better about myself, for him to take care of my family, to take care of me and lead me in the direction I'm supposed to be living. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe. If you do want to see anything else about my relationship, go ahead and leave a comment down below.